Breaking news, President Trump rolling back Obama-era Cuba policy, cracking down on individual travel and cash flow to the communist regime. Meanwhile, the president's administration also dropping the hammer on the Obama-era immigration policy, formally canceling that DAPA program, which was designed to protect the parents of U.S. citizens from deportation. Now, the White House tells Fox News that as of yet, there's no official decision on the fate of DACA. That's for the kids themselves, which was also created to protect them from deportation. Joining me now to discuss, Cristobal Alex and Gina Lana. Cristobal, let me talk to you about this, because DAPA is one of the was for the audience who doesn't remember, it was never implemented, but it was one of these programs where people felt it was a sort of an amnesty program, and not only was it an amnesty program, but it also encouraged illegal immigrants to come into America with their children, or to come into America and have children, so that they would not have to leave. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first off, thanks for having me. It's a bit of a setback for us. In one hand, DACA, which, as you pointed out, protects the children who've come here at a young age, that is in place temporarily. DAPA, which protects their parents, is gone, and it's a major setback for us.
For who is us?
For those in the immigrant rights community, for our economy, for the children of those folks who are now worried about their families being torn apart. It's a major setback, and it's something that we ultimately are going to need Congress to fix. This is not something that the president can fix easily or undo.
President Obama, former President Obama, he put this out there on his own. It was a court decision that stalled it. So President Trump has the ability legally to say, hey, let's remove this. Certainly his administration can do that.
Yeah, they've done that, and even before that, the courts stepped in with all of the Republican governors, something like 26 of them, litigating that and getting it enjoined in court. It's a terrible problem, and ultimately, again, we've got to get Congress to act, and we hope that coming out of these midterms, we'll get some progress there.
Well, Gina, let me ask you, because you live in San Diego and you see this situation firsthand play out. On one hand, this obviously is a tug of war with sympathies, and President Trump himself has grappled with the DACA part of this, at least. On the other hand, if you say, hey, if you illegally enter our country, you bring children or you have children here, you don't have to leave, then what's to ever stop America from controlling its borders?
Nothing. I think you asked the perfect question, Charles, and this is why we are a nation of laws. We have borders just like every other country on the face of the earth. And when you make arguments against even enforcing the rule of law, then you make arguments that we should have no immigration policy at all. That's not a logical argument. No other country does the kinds of things for immigrants that we do. They not only come here, many of them are very dependent on the taxpayer dole. Nobody wants to talk about those numbers, but this is very expensive. And so, come in legally, and we want you. But coming in illegally, it has just got to change. We've got to take away the incentive, and DAPA, of course, is a wonderful, or eliminating DAPA is a good step in the right direction. I
want to bring in Lieutenant Governor Carlos Lopez Cantera of Florida. Your thoughts on all the things that happened today, reversing some of Barack Obama's Cuba policy and eliminating DAPA, which, of course, was part of the campaign promise. Many people think it's part of an overall amnesty program that encourages illegal immigration.
Well, thank you for having me. First of all, today's announcement by the president was great news. I was there. I was excited to be there as the son and grandson of Cuban immigrants who fled the island with not much more than the clothes on their back. This was a long time coming, at least 8 years. And, all he's really doing at the end of the day is enforcing existing federal law, which President Obama and his administration chose to ignore and chose to grant the most liberal form of interpretation of the law in allowing an economic stimulus, basically, to the Castro regime. So the president today announced that he's going to have targeted policy so that the people of Cuba will benefit and not the dictatorship. And that's what all of us really want at the end of the day. It's fair, and I'm glad the president kept his word, did what he said he was going to do. Yeah. And I've already heard that the dictatorship is quite nervous about the announcement.
Well, the Castros and their military dictatorship have reaped all of the economic rewards, and we're positioned to do so under the old rules. So hopefully this will fix it so that the Cuban people will have a shot at true freedom. Guys, thank you all very much.